There we go. Got everything set up. Let's just hope we can make this work. Can I just... Okay. Let's get some brown on the rats and get some fur color going. See what we can do with this. Because gosh dang, it's been an interesting time. But first, let's get a base coat so we can get some fur on the rats, see how that looks. I mean, don't let me stop you, man. We all need rest. How you doing, Crab? I was about to say, because I hope you're having a good night. I have been having a crash out on Twitter over some... Oh, that's fair. I've been having a crash out because, my goodness, there have been some people not understanding the context of a post somebody made about the Vishojo situation, and it hurts my soul, because I am not smart enough for so many people to be that dumb. I don't know if you saw me crashing out, but it's been bad. Yeah, the Iron Mouse post. Just, oh my goodness. I plan to make a whole on video explaining it just because you should not be missing the point of what that post is trying to say. I wanted to make a more long-form content video that was more respectable, but at this point, I can't do that anymore. Because I cannot stand for people to miss what I think is such a obvious thing. Hey, James, how's it going? Da-da. But yeah, no, that... I wanted to stream today, but I figured just before I actually started streaming... Yeah, I saw Ozzy Osbourne passed away too. It feels weird. Straight up, and it feels weird just because Ozzy took so many drugs and lived, that I'm like, how is he dying this young? Sure, you can just say his body shut down because of the drug abuse. But dude straight up lived things he should not have lived. And I feel like it's weird that Ozzy's gone. Yeah. Yeah, he was in his 70s. I think you're right, Crab. 73 sounds about right. I saw a post saying what his age was, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Okay. I need to let that dry for a minute, and I'll see. I want to experiment with some other browns for the fur coat here. I was wondering if I need a darker brown. Oh, you had Parkinson's? I did not know that part. On the one hand, That makes a little bit more sense how he would pass away so early, but still. Feels bad, man. I don't know. Today's been interesting. I woke up on 3 hours of sleep from a text from the scheduling manager at my workplace asking me to come in early today. I wasn't even supposed to work. I was supposed to have the day off, but came in to cover a day shift. They had him strapped to his throne the last tour and people were cracking jokes about it. Damn. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Still feel bad for him, though. Yeah, no. I went to work on 3 hours of sleep. I'm kind of managing to stay awake. I don't know who you're talking about. We're talking about Ozzy Osbourne, James. Apparently he passed away today. Which, for me, is really depressing because it makes me feel so much older. Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne died. Today's just been eventful. Because I woke up this morning on 3 hours of sleep after having to give my friends some rides. Went into work on my day off, came back here, and I've just been frazzled. Yeah, I'm not liking this brown. I was really hoping that would... Okay, so we're sticking to this brown then for the rat fur. This news is not helping. No, but it is what it is. I know I'm definitely going to be listening to a lot more Ozzy for a little bit because that was quite a bit of my childhood listening to him. Because Ozzy doing Paranoid is one of my favorite songs, but Crazy Train was also pretty good. I listened to that quite a bit when I was a teenager. Just that lamp. But yeah, I don't know. Today is a day that doesn't feel real, if I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know how the day's been for you guys, but to me, today has not felt real at the slightest. It might be the fact that I'm only on 3 hours of sleep, but there's just so much happening. He was on Take What You Want by Post Malone. He had a song featured Post Malone as well. I didn't even realize he collabed with Post. Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out, because that actually sounds really interesting. Yeah, you should talk about something fun. I'd say so. What have you guys been up to recently? For me, recentering my brain, last night I was at a party with a few friends. I was supposed to go inner tubing at a church activity, but I ended up playing Gears of War. That's fun. I was supposed to go to a church activity, but I ended up being a taxi service to get one of my friends somewhere. By the time I got there, I was just not going to make it on time for the river float, so I just stayed at my friend's house and used my river float to float around in the river right by their house. It was pretty fun overall. I forgot how much I liked being able to hang out with people and just relax. You can't swim? I'll be honest, I didn't realize how bad my swimming muscles were until I tried swimming after someone. I got into super deep water and panicked because I legitimately thought I was going to sink because I was not strong enough to swim back in my preferred swimming style. You were writing? Okay. Yeah, so we've had some interesting stuff. I laughed at the irony of the crab man not being able to swim. Hey man, you know what? That's just how it goes. I'm a degenerate who doesn't even watch porn anymore, so I'm not exactly living up to my name either. I can only doggy paddle. You know what? That works. If it works and gets you to shore, that's all that matters. You don't need to be Michael Phelps and do a butterfly every time you swim. Because I'll be honest, back when I could do the butterfly, I see why it's a good swimming type or form, I think is the correct term. I'm not a big fan of it though. Besides, when it comes to aquatic sports, I like being on a boat. I would rather be on a rowboat and row people around or in a gondola and just move people around than actually swim. I like being in a boat. I like giving people boat rides. I enjoy that. Swimming for the sake of swimming, I'm like, I can take it or leave it. Oh, nice. I feel like if I wanted to do the... Okay, so I'm trying to compare and contrast the brown here between these two guys because they're both dried. I don't like either brown, but I like this brown a bit more because it's a bit more darker and I can work with it. I feel like if I was doing the plague cultists for the Skaven, this would be a good color just because of how disgusting it looks, as if even their fur has jaundice. I think that would work better. However, for these guys, we're just gonna keep it simple. Could also have it as war paint. I could. I just feel like how it looks right now, it kind of just sticks out too much from the rest. It looks like it does look like Pikachu. Wait, that didn't even register into my mind. That, oh my gosh. So Stormcast Skaven, that's the color we need to use. And just so I remember that in case I ever forget, this was the Baylor brown that I'm repainting over. Because the darkest brown I have right now is mahogany from Citadel. Or sorry, Vallejo. I did buy XV88 from Games Workshop, but that doesn't arrive until like Thursday, I think, with a Sister Battle pack and a few other paints. It's cursed. I love it. Honestly, I might, because Pikachu is technically an electric mouse, I might just kit bash some Skaven and just call it the Thunder Squad, and so that they're all got the Pikachu color scheme. It's dumb enough, it might just work. Yeah, I think I'm going to throw the Baylor Brown just on the base when I get to that. Till then, we are just going to paint this guy as a brown rat. And I want to do a brown rat just because the purple did not come out super bright. And I don't mind it too much, but I kind of want to see if I got a brighter purple. I may make a Skaven army and paint them as Pikachu for the memes. Honestly, do it. Pikachu stuffed animal. That sounds cozy. Somehow that makes sense, though. That checks out. Fate can be cruel in those ways. I never had a lot of Pokemon stuff as a kid. However, as an adult, I've probably bought too much. First game you bought was Pokemon Black. First game I had that was Pokemon was Stadium on the Nintendo 64. And I played Stadium so much. Pokemon Stadium is my favorite game, and once I finally have internet back in my place, I'm going to stream playing through the campaign and how I get through the Elite Four on it. And I will say, Pokemon Stadium is difficult. You got Gen 1 mechanics that are difficult to abuse, and you just have to deal with the most RNG cursed run possible to get through all of it. I don't know if there's a meta for Stadium. I just figured out that Jolteon and Starmie are surprisingly good in Pokemon Stadium for the Elite Four runs. So they were always a staple on my team. I'm not sure if I used Kangaskhan though, but I did use Persian from time to time just for extra chip damage. Spent dozens of hours mostly in the theater making my Pokemon free. The theater was a good feature though, so I don't blame you there. First game was Gen 8. Gen 8's not bad. I would say Gen 8 had some good qualities to it. The character customizer and maker in Gen 8 I enjoyed a lot because I do like customizing my characters. However, I do not like the starters from Gen 8, if I can be perfectly honest here. I'm a little, and I will admit by bias, when I was watching, I remember when it was about to come out, we had the leakers, we had people looking over like fan art of what the final evolutions would look like. And Gen 8 was just underwhelming with the final evolutions. Like somebody turned Sobble into the Loch Ness Monster for its final evolution as like a fan art potential final evolution. That was so cool. And then when we see Inteleon, I'm just like, I see what they're doing. I don't like it. Yeah, I'd loop them on Pokemon games. Honestly, I am kind of up to date with some of it because I do buy and play the games because I enjoy them. And sometimes I'm just a little too, like, I never bought the DLC for Gen 9 because it ran so poorly when I bought it. I didn't think it warranted the money. Stay till black and white, that's fair. Like, even now, knowing that there's some Pokemon I want from the DLC from Gen 9, I still refuse to play it. I like the word of Gen 8 more, but I like the Pokemon of Gen 9 more. No, that's fair. I think Gen 9 had more interesting Pokemon designs, but Gen 8 had some interesting ones. They're not all bangers. But from Gen 8, Appleton is one of my favorites of all time. I absolutely love Appleton. I like Galarian Rapidash quite a bit and Galarian Weezing. I think they're fun as well. But, I don't know. There's quite a few Pokemon from Gen 8 that I just don't care about as well. Duraludon I think was cool. But my all-time favorite Pokemon from Gen 9 is World. I can't spell. Hey, no worries, man. One of my favorite all time is, I need to remember its official name, Scovillain, that's it. Because as soon as I found out there was a pepper plant Pokemon, I knew I had to get it because I like spicy food. And Scovillain was just so cool to me. His stats absolutely suck. Because fire and grass is a little busted as a typing. But I absolutely love Scovillain as a Pokemon. Black and white, there's literally just a snowflake. I've been trash designs. Shout out Trubbish. Here's the thing. There's always been good and bad designs in every Pokemon generation. I am not going to be an elitist and say that, oh, certain ones are good or certain ones are bad. I will admit my preference, though. For example, I think Trubbish was cute. I hate Garbodor's design. Trubbish was like, okay, that's cute. I see what you're doing there. It's a tied-up trash bag with a face on it. Voltorb is just a Pokeball with a face on it. So I could let that go. Garbodor, I kind of wish is more of a dumpster form. Like, just making, oh, we've got a trash bag that's grown into a bigger trash bag that's spilling out. It's like, I see what you're going with. I just don't... Oh yeah, I think the same thing. I'm so glad I'm not the only one. It's like, I see the vision. I see the idea. I just find it underwhelming. And that's kind of my whole thing. 3-tier family, trash bag to trash can to trash to dumpster. That would have been really good. I would have appreciated that more. Because poison is my favorite Pokemon type. And so I always have a poison Pokemon on my team. I always have one. I use them a lot. I love them to death. But Garbodor, I just could never... I can never get around to liking him. I tried. Vishoja just died. Oh yeah, it absolutely died. All of their talents have removed Vishojo from their Twitter handles, and all of them seem to be leaving. I'm pretty sure Melody's going to be leaving announcing her leaving in a few days. So do you know that the dumpster is the brand name? It's actually called a trash bin or something. Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, Benjameister, I am... She already did a few hours ago, I think. Oh, I did not see that part. I've been debating with people over Azehara's AI thing. Saw Mel say something on her Twitter. I follow Mel, but I don't get a lot of updates from her. And the Made Evolution can be the garbage truck. I like it. I like it. But yeah, no. Vishoja is going to shut down. And it feels weird because I've been in the VTubing scene long enough that I remember when Vishoja was announced. And I remember how Mousy described it because I followed Mel and Iron Mouse and Silverveil. Like, Silverveil is the first VTuber I saw when I came back to the country during the lockdowns. I had been following Kizuna Ai since 2017. But Silverveil is kind of the first VTuber I started watching. Yeah, but it's bad. Yeah. And so, I watched Silverveil. I found Iron Mouse because I liked how she would speak Spanish, so I could practice my Spanish more often. We were watching all three of them on their podcast in 2020. Melody was an introduction. No, that's fair. I knew of Melody because I followed Nux Taku and Lost Paws. Lost Paws was the first YouTuber I ever started watching back in 2016 consistently. And so I remember seeing Nux and Lost Paw and Noble like interview Melody when she was coming out and like debuting and stuff. But I remember just watching more of Silverveil and Iron Mouse because I liked the more chaotic stuff. I will admit I only started watching VTubers because of Candy Queen Charlie. I mean, that's fair. Charlie, I found her video by accident because somebody posted on Reddit. I started YouTube with Smosh in 2007. I'm fucking old. Hey. I was watching YouTube back in 2010 is when my friends started watching. I didn't have internet access consistently until 2016 though. And that's when I started, like, that's when I had an account, I subscribed, and I started watching, like, Lost Pause. Before then, yeah, I watched Smosh and Markiplier every once in a while, but that was only at my friend's house when they had internet access. Saw comics she did back in the day. Ah. But yeah, so with my VTubing stuff, I remember when the announcement was that all people who join VShojo, they get their own identity, they keep the IP, and they keep 100% of the proceeds, but then merch sales are what keep the company afloat. Apparently, they reorganized those contracts sometime in the past few years, because I remember there was, hey, the actual streamers get to be whoever they want without restriction, and it came out recently that apparently, thanks to Evanito being clipped by Azehara, apparently VShojo is paying people not to talk about VShojo negatively. Like, according to a clip of Evanito, like, apparently people are being told not to talk about the drama. My YouTube thought the Smosh comment was spam. Yeah, that makes sense. So confused as to why I couldn't see it. Three of them bounced a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure that would be the reorg time. Yeah, because that was Silverveil, Vey, and who was the third person who bounced with them? Because Silverveil and Vebe, which I didn't blame Silverveil, because she got shit on so much with the Hogwarts Legacy stuff. Neanders. I forgot Neanders left with those three back then. Okay. That's right, she did, didn't she? Because I remember the Hogwarts Legacy stuff, Silverveil got absolutely shit on and thrown in the dumpster. Fruit, yeah, apparently Fruit came back and instantly left VShojo, which a lot of people were making jokes of. Fruit came back to VShojo, VShojo instantly burns to the ground. The timing was very funny. Because I remember Silverveil took a lot of flack for the Hogwarts Legacy stuff, which was beyond proportional. Like, it was so bad. I'm remembering it. That was the time. Yep. And then Fruit decided to grandstand, and VShojo just didn't do anything to help Silverveil. So I figured Silverveil leaving was more of, hey, I got into a massive problem. There was a hate campaign against me, and I got no support whatsoever from other talents or my friends. And so I felt really bad for her, so I wasn't surprised that she left. Clip of the Grandpa Simpson walking in, then walking out. Yep, basically. Fruit, I remember thinking Fruit was, like, okay. I didn't really watch a lot of her content. I mostly just saw memes centering around, like, some clips and stuff she did. However, I never really was all that interested, just because, honestly, the most entertaining content featuring Fruit was how she cheated on her husband who was deployed in the military. That's kind of like the most I knew of Fruit. Silver should have probably become red-pilled from how hard the attacks over nothing were. Honestly, I feel like if somebody could talk to Silverveil in private, they would see a very reformed person. I forgot that about Fruit. I think Fruit has done a lot of damage control to make people forget that that's kind of what she was known for, was cheating on her husband. So Fruit's done a lot of damage control, and it seems to be working because a lot of people seem to have forgotten it. However, as I was frequently on 4chan, I couldn't forget about it because that's like the one thing 4chan remembered Fruit by. Like, all the VTubing boards were just making fun of Fruit for cheating. Like, is that meme of the, for those who played Alien Isolation, there's a motion tracker where you track the alien as you sneak around the ship. And so you see one dot representing Fruit and one dot in the over the edge looking at like in the closet. So I remember that. No, I stepped away from bigger VTubers because it was back-to-back controversy. Fair. Remember anybody who got sent to Kabul in the Afghan pullout got cheated on by his wife while he was gone? Really awful. No, it really is. I feel bad for all the vets who actually get cheated on by their significant others while they're on deployment. And so that's kind of why I was part of the problem of perpetuating and reminding everyone, yeah, Fruit's a cheater. Not necessarily because, like, Fruit is... I don't want to say that she's a horrible person because I don't know her, but she definitely did something fundamentally disgusting by cheating on her husband, who is deployed, that I kind of have no sympathy with regards to everybody remembering that fact about her. You know, there's just certain things that don't escape people once they do it, or when it comes out in public about it, that, yeah, I'm not for canceling people, but I do believe that there should be consequences to some of your actions, especially when you're a public figure, that you're just going to have to remember some of these things. Can't say if they are a bad person, but can say they did a bad thing. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to be careful and toe the line with how I describe my opinion. Because I don't want to be some sort of arbiter or go on the grounds of like, yeah, I think she's just bad because cheating is bad. It's like, look, we all make dumb decisions from time to time. I'm not discounting that. I don't want to discount the fact that she did something fucked up, because cheating on your significant other is never okay. But it does happen more frequently than anyone will want to admit. And I'm fairly black-pilled on that subject. However, that's also probably because I spent time as a family counselor and therapist. And gosh dang, it is very difficult for me to look at certain things anymore with confidence or faith. You can say a bad thing is bad and people will still defend it. Oh yeah, all the time. That's just something inescapable in life. I'm aware that people are going to do that. But still. I just try to make... When I was learning to be a missionary with my church, there is a quote from somebody that I liked, and I've been trying to learn to emulate for whenever I discuss things. And the quote just simply goes, "Don't teach people so that they understand the doctrine. Teach them so that they can't misunderstand." Essentially, just speak as clearly as possible so that it's foolproof what you're saying. I've been trying to focus on changing my speaking habits as well as my vocabulary so I can make sure that people can not only understand me, but don't misunderstand me. It's something I've been very focused on. I'm definitely not perfect at it, as I am stumbling quite frequently, but I've noticed that people definitely understand me more often, or at the very least are more willing to listen to me whenever I've taken a slower, more methodical approach to talking about this stuff. So that's definitely something I've been working on. Oh yeah, they always will. And so that's why, especially since I'm being recorded all the time while I stream and talk about things, I always try to make sure that I speak so that people can't misunderstand me, because one of my favorite self-owns on the internet is when people post a clip and it's straight up they're hearing what they want to hear, but the clip speaks for itself and disproves anything and everything they're trying to say. So I try to focus on I'm doing what I can to be as clear as possible, so when normal people look and listen to whatever I say, they kind of understand what I mean. Like pirate software. Gosh, yeah. I believe people should be as specific as possible. I believe so too. On the one hand, it's just because specificity really helps with being direct. If you're not direct and if you're not clear with what you're saying, it really just hurts anything. And the thing that has always bothered me is when people talk about like, oh, I'm smart, oh, I'm an intellectual. Every time I find people just say, oh, if you can't understand this, educate yourself. No, 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 no. Every good teacher, you can teach the most complicated things in basic mannerisms. If you cannot expand upon simple concepts or bring a difficult concept into a simple idea, you're not a good teacher. Because to be a good teacher, you have to make sure that anyone can understand the intricacies of what you're saying without needing to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say pedantic. There's a different word I'm trying to look for. But essentially just some people are just needlessly flamboyant with how they teach, and they pride themselves on people not understanding them. And I had some college professors like that, and I deeply resented them just because as a teacher, you have to make sure that anybody can understand the concepts you're teaching. If you're teaching point snooty, perfect, that's perfect. Thank you, Bingemeister. Yeah, no, snooty is very much it. Yeah, intellectual snobbery. Because the thing is, if you pride yourself on being your subject matter is so difficult that people can't learn it, you're not a good teacher. You're just an asshole. You're supposed to teach people and meet them halfway so that they can understand everything. But maybe that's because my background in teaching is being a language teacher, and so if I taught them wrong, they wouldn't speak a language correctly, rather than, oh, you failed a class because you're not smart enough to understand theoretical physics. So maybe I'm just biased in the fact that I came from a more practical teaching method that was more based on, hey, if you can't speak this correctly, you're just not going to do well, and so I need you to pay attention and lock in. 90% of you won't pass my class, then teach better. Absolutely, yes. There's nothing worse than a teacher who prides themselves on failing other students. You're just a horrible teacher. You are there to flex on people for a subject you understand and others don't. If I want that pedantic asshole nature, I'm going to talk to a lore nerd about a series I don't know or understand. However, when I talk to the lore nerd, they'll actually be excited enough to talk about it that they might actually include something interesting that I can follow along with. And again, I just don't understand. I don't understand the mentality of, oh yeah, I'm going to make everything I do needlessly complicated. If you can't simplify what you're teaching, you're either a horrible teacher or your concept doesn't work. However, that is a soapbox I have, just because, again, I was a language teacher, so everything that my teaching habits did reflected on my students in, are they actually learning the language or are they just fucking around? But, I'm a meathead. I bash a square block into the round hole until it fits. That's fair, but that is, in a way itself, a way to learn. Because you can take that stubbornness and work on it to make sure that you yourself understand something by just bashing your head into the brick wall until you understand, or the brick wall breaks. Is it the most elegant method? No. Show my math. I use the wrong equation to get the wrong answers. To get the right answers. Yeah, no. I've done the same. I have screwed up equations but gotten the right answer anyway. Is it optimal? Absolutely not, but it's possible. I mean, it's just like that one meme from the kid's math scores from his teacher. I don't know how you got the equation wrong and still got the right answer, but congrats. But yeah, no. I have very much come to despise the elitism that comes with teachers. Not because I hate teachers, but because I hate the elitism of, you are so bad at your job, you take pride in it because people don't pass. I can understand if it's, hey, I'm going to put you through the ringers so it's a rigorous thing. Okay, sure, make it a difficult class because it requires a lot of patience and a lot of theory, methodology. Maybe you have to learn a lot. That's fine. For example, medical school. I'm fine with medical school being complicated only for the fact that I don't want doctors to second guess themselves on what they're doing. I want them to know and be very well studied. So if it's a demanding class to learn and perfect, okay, sure, fine. I can accept that being a class that needs to be difficult. I'm not saying anything against that. But if you're teaching language arts or an English class and you're just needlessly pedantic and snooty with, oh, you're not going to understand this. Okay, you're failing as a teacher. Ooh. And right now, it seems like a lot of history teachers have been failing, or a lot of kids did not pay attention in history class, because, gosh dang. Okay. I wanted to ask a teacher for help understanding something. The teacher was a good teacher, but the teacher's aide saw me asking questions about the homework and accused me of trying to cheat. Gosh. Honestly, I don't even know anymore. I remember I wanted to become a teacher when I was younger, but after everything I've seen and dealt with, I would never get a teaching degree now. I went back after that teacher's aide wasn't in there and she helped me. Oh, at least there's a happy ending there. Just, I just don't know. The world of teaching should be a noble one, and yet everybody who enters it seems to be getting in there for some sort of hierarchy. And I cannot stand it. Granted, I'm also at the point where I've gotten old enough that I just can't stand most people nowadays. I'd rather be a hermit. I like being social from time to time, but I also need to be careful. I had good teachers almost all my school career. I had some interesting teachers. I had some good ones, I had some bad ones, and I had some biased teachers. And so I kind of come at it with mixed bags. I had a few bad ones, like one that I swear was sexist. Rebrand to Hermit Quail. I mean, I might rebrand to Hermit Quail. I originally became Degenerate Quail for the meme of, just because back in like 2016, 2017 anime community, the jokes were, oh yeah, we're all degenerates. That was kind of like my whole thing. Because I originally just wanted to do anime reviews. However, I have not been able to finish making an anime review video in so long that I'm definitely not on brand. Crab Gang. Crab Gang could be cool. But yeah, no, most likely I will be a Hermit Quail if I have my way with things. Just because people can be nice, but I can't deal with people all the time. Hermit and Krabu. Not a bad idea. We'll just do a podcast with that name. But yeah, no, it's... I don't know. I grew up liking people. I wanted to like people. But the more I've been in the workforce and the more jobs that I've worked that have all been customer service focused, the less I like people. I worked at a call center. I'm never doing that again. Mostly just because working at a call center, you do your best to help people. But my goodness, people lose all sense of decorum and respect as soon as they're on the phone. And it definitely blackpilled me dealing with people. Heck yeah, just actually got speak recording. Yeah. Yeah, no, because... I mean, at the one hand, I understand why people never took my jobs. All the call bots suck. Yeah, no, they do. Because with my job, we didn't have that many automated systems to get through. So it's very easy to get where you needed to go and talk to people. The whole issue was, though, that it was credit card insurance, so a lot of people just didn't take it that seriously. And it's like, look, I get it. You don't need to take it seriously. Maybe you don't want or can't take it seriously. But you're asking me to give you $10,000. I have to take it seriously because I can't just give that to you willy-nilly. You know? So because of that, I had to deal with a lot of people that were... I mean, they were entitled to their money as long as they followed the terms and conditions correctly. But there was just the sense of entitlement of, no, give me my money now, rather than, hey, I understand the process. I spent 10 straight minutes saying associate and it hung up on me. Then I called it and said it once and got redirected. That sounds about right. Depending on where you call in, I have learned to abuse my Spanish-speaking ability because I found out... so one thing that's interesting is if you're calling in and you don't want somebody with a thick Indian accent when talking, because I'll be honest, I sometimes cannot understand them because their accent's too thick, and I've got hearing damage, so I can't hear people well. I just go to the Spanish assistant because just about all the Spanish-speaking assistants speak English and have an easier accent to understand that's familiar to me. So if I call into a call center and I just want to talk to somebody, I go in Spanish, I'll talk Spanish for a bit, and they'll just say, I don't know how to say this in Spanish. In English, it's this. And they just go, oh, yeah, no, I got you. Fair enough. Yep. So I will say, just about all the Spanish-speaking associates, they speak English. So if you don't want to deal with anybody from India, just ask for Spanish assistance. You'll get somebody who's fluent in English and Spanish. And it's a great life hack. Somebody mentioned it to me once, and I figured, I'm going to try that out one time. I tried it out, and it worked perfectly. So that is how I go about things nowadays. Unless I know it's like a local like company in the US, I'm straight up just going, no, I'm speaking to a Spanish assistant. Yeah, that's just how I get around it. Then we're gonna dab some green in here. Mega Dragonite v Shoujo and Ozzy Osbourne are a lot to process over the past day for me. Yeah, no, that's very fair. I am excited for Mega Dragonite, though. I have always wanted Dragonite to get something. I've had some guy from India bending over backwards to help me with something. Like, if I could call him specifically for all my problems, I would. Dude was awesome. Yeah, that's fair. You get some stand-up people who work in call centers. But not always. It's always a mixed bag. But going back, a Mega Dragonite is one I was very excited for. I think it's a cute design. Like, Dragonite, I think, isn't intimidating. Like, yes, I read the Pokemon Adventures manga, so I've seen Dragonite look intimidating. But for the most part, Dragonite was always like a cute kind of design for me. And so Dragonite getting the wings on his head and reverting to like a Dragonair Dragonite mix, yeah, no, it's awesome because it's friendly. It's a very friendly and cute design. I think it works well for Dragonite. I know some people saying they don't like it. Well, I will just say I think their opinion is wrong because I think that Mega Dragonite is phenomenal. It's not... I mean, I do agree there was one YouTuber I follow, I think it's MNJTV on Twitter, and I think he said it best where it's the only design critique that I share with him is that I wish the feathers were a bit more pointy. I think the round feathers are okay, but I wish that the end of the feathers were a bit sharper and like direction focused to give more dynamicism. I'm trying to say dynamic, but my tongue is tripping on me right now, so I'm just gonna do a tongue twister later to figure out how to say that word. But yeah, no. Today has been a lot. Lots going on, lots confusing. And it's only fucking Tuesday, man. I don't know what the hell the rest of this week is going to be, but I am concerned and confused. There's a lot that's going to happen. We're going to have to deal with it, figure it out. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not too crazy or confusing this time, but you know what? You never know. I will say, though, as much as I am going to get Pokemon Legends ZA, because I liked the last ZA game, and I like the idea of being in Lumio City. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of I'm Scared to See. I would say just check it out. I think it's a very solid design. They brought back some of the cool aspects from Dragonair and mix it with Dragonite. I'm going to have to get a second date in the morning. Cuddles and weep stuff. Wish me luck. Gotta sleep. Hey, man. I wish you the best of luck, and I wish you all the luck that I don't have. Because some things are important in life, and I hope it goes well for you. But also, thanks for stopping by. It's been a hot minute since I last saw you, so hope you're doing well, and I hope it all goes well, too. Let's see. Grand summary of life. Shit happens. Yeah. Yeah, very much. My personal summary is, shit keeps happening, and I can't keep up with it. Please stop. I actually like that for the eye color. I want to try that for someone else. Hold on. Was this secretly a better eye color than I expected? That actually goes really well as a thin layer above the silver. Holy crap, I like that a lot. All right, we're switching to these eyes now. Saying it for the third night in a row. Here because I will repeat, sleep is for the weak, yellow weak if you sleep. My phrase has always been, sleep is for those who can afford it, and I am poor. Because, you know, we got to work towards something. And hell, even my stepfather said, in order to achieve dreams, sometimes you got to moonlight things. Just sacrifice sleep, work on your projects, make it happen as best you can, go with it from there. That is what I try to do. However, whenever I get off work, I don't stream that often, just because when I get off work, I get home at around midnight. And I do need to have at least 3 hours of sleep. Hoping to upgrade to more sometime in the future, but I'm taking what I can get for now. My catchphrase is, if I die, I die. That's fair. I understand that. Oh, right. This guy's eyes. His ones are weird. Let's see. I'm going to do a coat just to get over. Let's see how that turns out. The glue globbed on over this eye a lot. So. I don't got insurance on me, so it's true. No, that's fair. That's fair. That is fair. I no longer have insurance. Such is life. Yeah, c'est la vie. SES. All right. I want to get some more silver painted up on these guys and re-go around the hoses. If I got impaled, I'd pull myself off and throw some staples in. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do to get by and make things happen. I'm also going to switch out my blade real quick, because I need to carve away some extra glue. Oh, I only got one blade left. I need to buy more. Well, that'll be a thing for our next paycheck, because I do not got the paycheck for that right now. this. Okay. All right. Carving away super glue. I would say though, have you guys been seeing that new AI feature on YouTube of like, hey, can you summarize this video for me? Have you guys seen that? At first I was unsure how it would work, but I ended up accidentally clicking on it when I was looking at one of my older videos, and I actually liked how it worked. Because it went for the automatic transcript that generates on the video, and it actually kind of explained my video fairly well. It actually did me justice, so I was like, oh hey, that actually helps. I like it. If it hurts pain pill addiction, yeah, that's fair. But yeah, no, if you guys ever got a chance, the AI assistant that YouTube has for summarizing videos, it's fairly decent. I'm not going to say it's good because I haven't used it that much, but I would say it's not bad for now. Who knows what's going to happen in future updates when they try to restrict certain things. Because AI always gets out of hand and has to get changed somehow. Hell, they even did it to Grok on X, which I thought was funny. How do you do it? Basically, just go to a video and then there'll just be like a thing going like for AI, like a prompt on AI, and just one of the default prompts is just asking to the AI to summarize the video for you. Like that was like one of the generated prompts. I don't know how it works on desktop though, because I did it in the YouTube app because I don't got internet access except through my phone. So I was just updating things on my videos on my phone. Grok, like all Musk's children, rebel against him. Yeah, yeah. Which I thought was funny because Grok was just kind of saying what I thought Elon Musk already agreed with. Apparently, I must have been very wrong. But you know what they say, you can only be too based. For the record, I do not recommend pain pill addiction. Shit sucks. It's like being high but not fun, just long and boring. Fair enough. I'm not going to ask how you know, but I'm going to take your word for that. Just because my mother raised me on half doses with all pain medication stuff. So for me, I don't like going to the hospital because they'll give me like a full dose of pain medications. I'm like, damn, this shit really works. Because my mother knew, as being the single mother of a boy who was very outdoorsy, the most common way that injured people get re-injured is during recovery by pushing themselves too much. So if I lived with at least some of the pain but mitigated, I would avoid being too much of a dumbass to re-injure myself. And yeah, it worked very well. And so I definitely follow her philosophy there. 20 pills anytime I feel pain. Holy shit. I just pop one like Tylenol. Let's say your poor liver, my guy. Okay. Your mom was a smart one. My mother was a very smart woman. I still follow a decent amount of stuff she taught me. I'm just not smart enough to put into practice everything she taught me. 1 stopped working, then 2 stopped working. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm clean now. I mean, I assumed you were from how you were talking about it earlier. Definitely sounded more like a past tense thing than a present tense thing. I'm also just really loving this eye color I found by accident. I did not mean for it to actually work as well as it did, but I'm kind of hooked on that. Now I just need to get some... I need to get a different color for the leather. The problem is there's going to be a lot of brown on this. So now I'm looking at how do I want to go about getting the leather done. Sometimes I miss it, but not the time period I was doing it. No, that's fair. I'm thinking I might mix Xandri dust with my mahogany to try to see if I can get a more monotone brown for the leather. But I don't know how well that's gonna work. Because I want to use Baylor for the sand at the bottom. But I also need to try... I want to try some other purples for the robes. Because I believe we went with purple hex last time. And it's okay. But I've also got a Phoenician-based purple. I've got blueberry, which I've used and like. Then I also have amethyst. So I'm going to try these out. Because I like the purple robes. They're just so dark that I kind of want something that pops a bit more. Because right now, it kind of works. I had 2 500 pill bottles and went through close to 1 full bottle. Holy shit. Again, my respects to your liver. Because that's some endurance training I couldn't do and I did to cross country. Yeah, pardon me, I gotta clean off my brush real fast. Conveniently lost one when I decided to drop it. Hey, you know what? Sometimes convenience is very helpful. If it works out in the end, it works out. Sometimes things just happen for a reason. Alright. It is brighter, but we'll see. Can't do it if I don't have it. Yeah, very true. Okay. Okay. If this dries well, then I might like how that turns out, but I'm still going to try some of the other purples I have. I also forgot the parentheses run conveniently. So to be clear, I gave it to a Sir Garbage. Ah. You know what? That's fair. Sometimes you just have to. Okay. Alright. From there, okay. I don't even remember what the base color we used for this cloak is, because kind of the default, I want it to be a bit brighter. I know with this one, I'm pretty sure this was a lipstick. Oop. Dropping things now. Then we've got amethyst on this guy's robes. Then I'm going to try... No, Trophy Violet doesn't work. I'm going to try some of my Phoenician Purple on this next guy. And if Phoenician Purple doesn't work, I will try some Blueberry. Because I don't want the purple to be too blue, but I also don't want to be too dark with the purple. I need it to pop a little bit. So we shall see. Okay. Clean that off, thin it out. Let's try. I'm gonna let this guy dry before I say anything about that purple choice. Yeah, because amethyst really... I don't know about the amethyst. Alright. Did you know that the voice actor for Jake the dog also voices Bender from Futurama and Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War? I knew that Bender and Jake were the same guy. I did not know about Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. That is interesting, though. Granted, I haven't even looked at a Gears of War game in years. I really should just replay them, because I barely remember anything about them nowadays. And I'd be interested in a shooter that has actual cover mechanics, just to shake things up again. Because gosh dang, we don't really have... It feels like if you want a game where you shoot and have mechanics for, like, dodging and moving around a cover, you gotta play, like, a CRPG, like Baldur's Gate 3, or you gotta go back to something like Gears of War, where cover actually matters. Because, quite honestly, it feels like cover does not matter in most shooting games. And I understand why in some of them it doesn't. But I kind of wish there was, like, some kind of emphasis for how it works. That would make you think about how you move into an area and start shooting. Gears punishes me for not using cover, and I love it. Yeah, no, you gotta keep your head down. You gotta move, you can't just run out, you're not the protagonist. I mean, technically you are the protagonist, but not the immortal protagonist way. And I appreciate it. That and also the melee was actually very fun. That it also felt good to be under B, going and dodging around cover just to come up and eviscerate somebody. Cover is used for stealth in other games and Gears. It's for survival. Yeah, no, absolutely. And sometimes survival should be, you should be taking a more thoughtful approach to survival in some games. Okay. I need to let the blueberry guy dry out a bit. But so far for updated robe colors, blueberry, Phoenician purple, amethyst. And I'm going to turn this guy around so we can see the Phoenician purple a bit more on display. Because quite honestly, it feels weird. I want to say the amethyst color is better for the cloaks because it feels like a very dirty color. But I feel like if I just use, because my idea right now is I'm going to, once I finish painting these guys, I'm going to spread around some snakebite contrast on it to try to get everything dirty and muddy. So there's a bunch of like dirt patches on it with the brown. The problem is I feel like the purple here is dirty enough that I shouldn't do it on there. But then I feel like it works better for these ones. But I think Phoenician purple is going to win out, and I'm going to use blueberry to highlight some of it. Because doing a full blueberry robe, this guy, he looks fine, but he's definitely too clean. It feels like I caught him in his pajamas rather than his war gear. So I think we're going to do the Phoenician purple on all of them. In Gears, you don't play a super soldier, you play a member of the army? Yeah. We're playing Gears Judgment? Ah. Yes, you're thinking. Alright, perfect. Thank you, James. I was definitely on the fence, but yeah. Okay, well, we've experimented with the purple colors, so now we know what we're gonna do. Now I just need to clean my brush and get started on getting the rest of the guys updated. Yeah. Earlier today, though, I was watching a video while I was just resting after work, and I ended up watching a guy I've seen some of his videos in my recommended, but I never watched him until now. It's a frog archist. And I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I saw his video of him doing. Didn't Badger make a video on Gears? I have no idea. If he did, I should probably watch it. I have not seen it though. But I was watching a dude called Frog Arcus do a challenge run on Star Wars. What's it called? It's the Star Wars shooter we all love. It's the Clone Commando one. Republic Commando, that's it. He's doing a challenge run on Republic Commando where if he takes any actual damage, he resets the entire, like he resets from a checkpoint, so he can do the entire campaign without taking official damage. I liked it a lot because I remember playing stuff like Republic Commando. I like Republic Commando because it's a very challenging shooter. I liked it a lot. It definitely felt good to fight against the droids as a clone in that one, because it really just showcased how imposing the droids were from the clones' perspective. Because against the Jedi, yeah, sure, lightsaber go whir. But when you got a blaster and you got to deal with a super battle droid and its armor, yeah, it's a different story. And I liked that. I liked that a lot about it. Fighting them clankers. Yep. Yep. Here we use the C word with impunity. We say clanker when we see one. You've watched Frog? Okay. Yeah, he always kept popping up on my recommendations because I play a lot of the same games he does. I just never watched them. So after seeing a challenge run from him, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch a few more. I like to watch videos whenever I do things. Hard R. Oh, yes. They're not clankas, they're clankers. We gotta keep them in their place, man. Those droids cannot be allowed to think they're one of us. He did Halo videos? Yeah, it was always the Halo lasso challenges that appeared in my recommended from Frog at first. The one that keeps popping up to this day still is the Halo 4 lasso video of his. I'm probably going to watch it after stream, because what I normally do is I've been playing a lot of Uma Musume recently, and while I do that, I have like a video in the background of my phone because it's got a mini player. So I'll just have like a small video in like the corner that's unused by the game, playing videos. That's kind of how I've been staying up to date and watching things happen. You liked it? Okay. Because I know that I am kind of I'm on A side, whereas I didn't like Halo 4 that much. Like, I thought the armor was okay on Chief. I didn't like a lot of their new, like 343's new armor sets for the customizer stuff. Ironically, I like Halo 4. No, that's fair. My thing is, I didn't like Halo 4 because I did not like how they introduced the Prometheans as bullet sponges. Like, going through the other Halo games, there was always a balance to the Covenant that felt really well worked out. But even the smallest thing from the Prometheans, whenever I used any gun, it felt like everything from the Prometheans was a bullet sponge, and I just don't like playing a shooter game like Halo, where it's just bullet sponge. You like the progression? Oh, that's fair. Because my whole thing is, with Halo, you had enemies that were gimmicks. So the brutes had high health and were melee fighters, but they didn't have shields. The elites were just the opposite of the Spartans. They had shields, but they also had trickery and were just absolutely brutal with certain weapons. Especially the fuel rod and the concussion rifle. The jackals were the gimmick where you shoot the hand, you shoot the head once they move the shield. And the grunts were the fun ones. But the Prometheans were from 5 with a health of 4. Perfection. Hey, fair. I never played 5, so I can't comment on how the ones in 5 were. I just know that in 4, I didn't like the Prometheans because I felt like there was nothing that just died. Everything felt like a bullet sponge, even if I focused on it. And I just had to keep paying attention to what guns were around. Watchers suck ass. Yeah, I can agree with that. Because I don't know. I just was not... I'm not against it, but I wasn't the biggest fan of how the Prometheans are in 4. I like the idea behind it. I wish the story was better. Because 4's story was passable. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm not calling it necessarily all that good either. I also just didn't like how they handled the reveal of Chief's race. Because, you know, back in the day, we never saw Master Chief's skin at all. With 343, it was, yeah, he's a guy in a helmet, and so everybody relates to him because it's not about race, it's about he's human. It could be anybody. We literally don't know. And 343 went, nah, we're going to show off he's white with angry eyes. Angry, heavy-set shadow eyes. Like, yeah, it's a choice you can make. I just wasn't the biggest fan. Just because the mystery was better. Granted, 343 was also okay with the Halo TV series and Chief never wearing his damn helmet, so why am I surprised? Knights have 2 weak spots on either side that explode and force them into a stun animation. And that's good, because then you actually have a weak point and it rewards you for paying attention to their attack patterns. I do appreciate that. Oh. But yeah, no. Halo 4 it wasn't my breaking point, but it was definitely a point for me in the series where I'm like, I don't know if I want to continue. It was not a bad game, but it wasn't engaging enough for me to actually stay and keep going with it, if that makes sense. All right. I need my small brush. Well, granted, they're all small brushes, but I need my smaller brush. But yeah, no. My biggest gripe is to change the Chief's armor. And see, that's kind of where I'm a little different. I think Chief's armor looked okay as an evolution. I hate how they introduced it as, oh, nanomachines updated it. Okay, that was dumb. But the change to Chief's armor, I wasn't that opposed to. Because as technology evolves, yeah, things are going to change. I didn't like how it looked in every piece, but I thought Chief's armor was okay. Not the best, but I didn't have any issues with it. However, I did have issues with the rest of the armor sets from 4, because 4 felt like they tried to go with a Tron Marathon Runner armor build for most of their stuff, so there's a lot of gaps between the armor, and I did not like that. They got pointy and they got spacey. Where instead of a full suit of armor, a lot of the armor sets from 4 just... They just have a lot of gaps in them, and I didn't like that as much. I know that's a personal taste and preference thing, but I just could not get over it. I just thought it was not that interesting. 5, I think, did better with the armor customization, but when it comes to 4, yeah. They went to compete with Titanfall and Futuristic COD. Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm more of an ODST fanboy when it comes to Halo than everything else. But I feel like the way Halo was always structured, it should have just stayed in its own lane. Trying to appeal to the other fan bases, everybody played Halo. Even if you liked Titanfall better for certain mechanics, or if you liked Call of Duty, Halo was always a shooter game everybody bought. And so when they tried to go for Titanfall and COD future aesthetics, they kind of shot themselves in the foot, because Halo was the one that kind of went, hey, maybe you guys should try future shooters, rather than, oh my gosh, it's just like my game, but Halo now. Like, I don't know. I always just thought it was a dumb thing that they tried to appeal to a different series when Halo had its own, I want to say, not necessarily monopoly, but kind of monopoly on it. But Chief's armor being upgraded was bullshit. Nanomachines to upgrade it to modern enhancements doesn't work if he's cut off from humanity. No, absolutely, Crab. I agree with you there. I can understand if he came back to humanity and got an upgrade to the suit. Perfect, that works. Him being in cryostasis in a broken ship cut off from humanity, and they upgrade his suit in there, that was dumb. I cannot defend that, and I will not defend that. Like I said, I can defend the idea and the redesign of the armor from Chief. The way it was implemented was absolute bullshit, and I will not defend that. There's just only so much I can willingly say was an okay idea before I just have to straight up say, yeah, no, this was stupid. I can see the vision, but sometimes your vision is dumb. I think at first I wanted to do, so jumping back a few seconds, at first I was thinking of doing silver on the chain just to keep it metallic. I think I want to do bronze just so that way, similar to how the sword stands out being bronze on my leader, this guy just has a bronze chain going around his arm. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do here. First, I actually got to get some bronze in my wet palette, so give me just a few seconds. But yeah, the redesign I think was okay. Nano machines in a rundown nanopod, like cryopod, that was bullshit. I can't defend that. But yeah, no. I don't know. There's a lot of ideas for how things can be and what we can do. At the end of the day, corpos and executives always do stuff. That's dumb. Have you watched the Spartan Ops cutscene where the Infinity rams the Covenant ship and absolutely decimate it? Only who drop frigates like bombs into a space battle? I believe so. I was about to say, because that's when the Infinity comes out of slip space and just immediately rams the ship into two, right? Because I believe I've seen that. I know a lot of people like to use it for videos when they're talking about just ramming into people. I don't remember the full context behind the clip, though, just because it's been a while since I've seen the full thing. Yes, best 343 scene. Yep, and the fact that that's the best 343 scene, as agreed upon by just about everybody in the community, that's really sad when they've had 3 games now. Okay. Yeah, the bronze chain was a good idea for this. If I can get the... I like that a lot more, because that definitely pops out more. No, I was joking, it's one of the best. Oh yeah, I figured as much. Yep, let's see. Okay. So we figured out what color we're doing for the robes. The robes seem fine for the most part. I'll have to touch them up a little bit. I think to finish off, I'm just going to prime my Samus mini, and then I'm going to call it a night there. Ow. Because I do need to get some sleep, because I know I'm working tomorrow. So, I'll just finish off from here. But first, gotta get some stuff done. Alright, take care, James. I'll see you later. Thank you for hanging out, too, and for giving me ideas and talking with me. It definitely helps me a lot to be able to bounce back with people when talking about the paints. So, I do appreciate all of your feedback, man. Especially the vindication I get when we both agree on certain things that I say. So, sure, that might be a prideful part of me, but still, I appreciate it, man. Hope you have a good night. Just gonna quickly get this primed. I don't even know on what context I can bring this out, but I think what I want to do as a joke is if I ever play a Warhammer game, I'm going to use this as a proxy model for an Eversor. Well, not an Evers. Actually, it might be. I could use this as an Eversor Assassin proxy model. That or a Calidus. But yeah, I don't know under what context I can use Samus Aran on a tabletop game, but I'm absolutely going to figure it out. If I can ever get my friends or get a group together in real life to play the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG, I will absolutely bring Samus out for that. Because sure, her tech is a little futuristic wear, but I can also just say, oh yeah, future tech wear in Cyberpunk. It's experimental suit. But I mostly just bought this because I really wanted a Samus figure. And seeing this one was on discount, I believe, from the Etsy shop I got it at, I absolutely picked it up. It was like $6. But context in the Didact space. nuked New Phoenix at the end of 4, then 6 months later, Fireteam Majestic goes to the Infinity before it goes back to finish the fight. Ah, okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Skaven painted up a bit more, finally primed Samus. So, thank you guys for coming out here. Thank you for talking with me and for humoring me and for letting me relax and unwind a bit from my day. Till then, hopefully I can stream sometime later this week so I can try to finish up the Skaven a bit more. What I want to do is, now that I got the robes figured out, I want to get some highlights on the robes, and I also need to figure out what color I want for my leather to be. So I'm going to work on that off stream just to do some color combinations. But hopefully by the end of the week we'll have some finished minis so that I can finish painting the base and just get them ready so that I have a squad of Skaven. Because after that, I need to finish my Space Marines, because I've got this squad of my jump pack intercessors that are underwater. I need to finish building and paint. I need to finish painting them. I've got a box of Warplock Jezzails with Skaven from Age of Sigmar I need to do. I've got a Primaris Infiltrator box coming as well that I need to make. That's coming in the mail tomorrow, I believe. And I also have an Adeptus Sororitas box for a squad of 10 that's coming in with some new paint from Games Workshop. So I got a lot I need to do, and I just need to hammer down and get these guys finished. But again, thank you guys for showing up. Thanks for joining the stream, for talking with me, and for just letting me rant to the wind. I'll see you guys later, and hopefully I'll have a new video out soon. Until then, take care, and I hope you all have a great night. Or day, depending on where you are.